And I'm Stefania.
Members of Inform Robotics, a robotics team participating in the First Tech Challenge Romania.
Today we have among us Guillermo Valdivia, a student at the Technical University of Eindhoven at Sustainable Innovation, whom we want to find out more about his experience as an international student.
Hello, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you.
Firstly, we want to tell us something about your experience as a student at TUE.
Mm-hmm. So at TUE, it's a really challenging university because it's only 8 weeks and you already get the exam at the 9th week and you have 4 of those periods along the year. So you basically have no holidays along the year. So you have to be studying all the time. Yeah, and you have like 2 topics per week and a lot of problems for different courses. So it's more like a challenge to be constantly into it, because if you miss 1 week, then you already know you will have to work twice as hard for the next one. But at the end, now like after 2 years and a half I've been there, all that hard work keeps adding up and you end up acknowledging that now you're better than you were before. So I think it's worth it.
Great. Moving on to the second question. Where are you from and how did you accommodate in another country when moving away for college?
Well, I'm from Peru. I was living in Lima till 2021. And how did I move? Well, it was sort of a problem for me to accommodate in the Netherlands because I couldn't find any place before, and I was already getting like desperate about finding somewhere. But finally someone didn't take a place that the university give the students, so I was the next in line and they gave it to me, so that was nice. It was like 2 months before going to the Netherlands. What else? For instance, in the Netherlands, you, like as a person, you have to transport by bike most of the time, and I didn't know how to ride a bike before going to the Netherlands. I literally learned 2 months before going to the Netherlands to ride a bike. So that was also kind of traumatic for me in the beginning because, bike rules and everything, that was also new for me. Overall I would think it's mainly that. Those were the main 2 problems I had. But then apart from that, the people are really nice.
And how do you feel now about riding a bike daily? Like, isn't it fun?
Yeah, now it's a normal thing. Now I get dizzy when I get into a car. Like my life changed completely. And now I feel weird when I'm not riding a bike on the streets. So it's kind of amazing how 2 years can actually change your whole brain and how you feel in transportation, for instance.
Also, about moving to Netherlands, how did you feel about the cultural diversity there?
Especially at TU, I think we are 30% or 20% of international students, so it's pretty diverse, I would say. It was also weird for me because in Lima we don't have that much cultural diversity. Like, you have a lot of diversity in like race-wise, people are different physically, but they are all in the same culture. But it was the first time for me that I was having lectures with someone that was from a totally different culture than mine, and I saw a lot of respect for international students, and that was nice. But you could see some cultures are like, the people are more friendly, are not that friendly, but that's not like how the person is, but how they are used to interact with people. Like, for instance, for me, saying hi to someone, like my friends make fun of me because for me, if you say hi to a girl in Peru, you give like this sort of kiss that is cheek with cheek from the beginning, even if you don't know her. And when you do that here, it's like, it's the weirdest thing ever. So I just got used to just give the hand to everyone, just in case. And I think small things like that. I like the sort of different things that you have to get used to in the beginning. But apart from that, I think everything went pretty well.
All right. What other project or extracurricular activities are you involved in at the moment? And how do you think they help you help in your personal development?
Well, I'm also part of the Honors Academy So we have to do a project apart from our studies with our group that's called Voltalgi. We're developing a sort of energy source that's based on algae that want to replace the use of lithium-ion batteries, like a small coin-like lithium-ion batteries for sensors, for instance. So we're working on that, and because of that, we went also to contest. Well, we participated in contests in the Netherlands, but also we had like a contest in Denmark, so we needed to fly there and present our idea, and that was also very nice. I was also part of Team Energy till 2 months ago, which is it's a team that makes like coordinates and makes, how do you call this thing, like lectures, like lunch lectures for students. So you usually get like technical lectures in the university. So what Team Energy tries to do is get also the other parts of the energy world into the university, like the economical changes and everything. So you get lectures that kind of complements your education at the technical university. So I would say both things helped me to first to manage my times better, because I of course needed to do a lot of stuff apart from my studies, which were already very challenging. But they also helped me to broaden my knowledge, because I was not used to getting like practical work, for instance, which now I'm doing in the honors track, in the honors academy, and not really that much involved in things that were not that technical, which now I'm doing in Team Energy. So I would say overall it helped me to complement what I was already learning.
From what you've seen so far here in our hub, would you like to have had the opportunity to be part of the FTC project in high school?
Yeah, definitely, because like I've seen you guys are working in a really organized way. You have really nice outcomes. I saw like a book that you do it like as a final.
The engineering notebook.
Yes, and I think that's amazing. I wouldn't think I would be able to do that when I was in high school, to be honest. But if I would be part of a team like this, I think my time at university would have been easier, because I think you are already working in a way that you will work in university.
How can you describe your personal development from the start of the university till present?
It really changed a lot, but not because of university, but I think mainly because of being an international student. You know, you are not living with your parents anymore. You are not being with your friends anymore. Especially for me, because I go back to to Peru after a year, most of the time. Like most of the time, if you are living in Europe, you go back like every 3 months. So it's like, of course, it's a shock, but it's not as much as I felt it, at least personally.
Homesick, you feel homesick a lot. You feel homesick a lot.
Yes, and you have to start dealing with problems that you wouldn't have to, that you've never had to deal with them before. And I think also your personality changes a lot. You're starting, to mature a lot really fast, and you can also see how people mature the same way as you do also in university. And you see how they started and how you guys are like after 2 years, and you feel like you're completely different people.
Based on your experience, what advice would you give to our listeners if they want to study abroad or things like this?
If they want to study abroad, I think, for instance, joining to one of these teams like what you guys are doing would really help a lot, because it really helps you to understand how you will have to work, like how organized you have to be at university. Because most of the time they think the problem is to actually get into the university. That's not the problem. The problem is to stay in the university. Like the people that started studying with me, we were 50 in the beginning, now we're 27. And overall in the university, like the 60% or 50% of everyone that got in the university just leaves. So to start working harder when you're already in high school, so you can get used to it easier when you get to university. So it's not that much of a big change, I would say.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening. See you in the next short.